This is the Reinforce Your Gym podcast with your host, Dustin Bogle. This show is about arming gym owners with the tools, strategies, and lessons they need to take their business to the next level. That way, they can make a greater impact in their community. Now, let's get to work and reinforce your gym.
I got a good one for you guys today. Welcome, gym owners, to another episode of Reinforce Your Gym. I am your host, Dustin Bogle, and I'm excited because today's topic is critical. All right. This is something that it's been on my mind because I've been talking about it with gym owners who are looking to open their first gym, open additional gyms. These are just huge decisions. Or even if you have just one gym and you want to optimize it, these are what I identify as the three biggest decisions a gym owner will make in their ownership career. And I want to really just highlight them so that you don't make the mistakes I did. I'll definitely share up some of my horror stories, but then also because I want you to have the most successful, stress-free business possible, okay? That might sound like a pipe dream. Is owning a business ever going to be stress-free? Absolutely not. It's business, it's war, but at the same time, we can make decisions that can give you immense leverage. So that's what we're going to talk about today. All right, so we're going to dive into this. Just for those that don't know me, I do want to highlight that if you haven't heard my story, I have owned 6 gyms in Southern California. So a lot of these stories that I'm going to share with you in these 3 big decisions come from my personal experience, but also coaching gym owners for over a decade now. And so again, just lots of years of experience and wisdom just collected that I just want to dump and share onto you. All right, so let's get into these 3. First big decision. Guys, this is huge. Is location. All right. You hear it in real estate, location, location, location. Well, it absolutely applies to brick and mortar businesses like ours, gyms, is your location. I call this decision the foundation of your success. It's literally where your body will be planted, your team, your clients. It will be standing on this foundation that you choose to lease or purchase. That's for another podcast, but it is the foundation of your success. Okay. This one decision can create years of pain or immense prosperity. And that is what I want to highlight with this one decision, okay? I just seen how drastic things can be. That gym owner A picks an amazing location and gym owner B picks a really crappy location. And I'll get into why they often do that, but why it always ends up biting them in the butt. And so essentially, this is your first big decision you'll make as a gym owner. Now, a couple of things I do want to point out. A business is supposed to serve the owner. All right, let's just call it out. It's supposed to make your life better. So the first thing I pay attention to with location is what will this do to the owner's lifestyle? I purchased the gym because it was quote unquote a bad deal, but it was a 45-minute drive one way from my house if traffic was good. If it was bad, it could be over an hour. This ended up not being a good deal. I had to move my family closer to this location so we can better support it. And so that is something that I would take into consideration. What is the drive time to this location you're looking at for you? Because if you want to be very involved, which you should be, this is not a hands-off business. You need to be able to get there and get there rather easily. All right. So that's number 1. But then number 2, we are going to factor in your client's lifestyle and their ability to get to this location. Most people build their life within a 3 to 5 mile bubble. All right. And so I'm kind of speaking generally in your suburban type of situation. Some people, if it's think of a sky high rise type of city, like a Chicago, a New York, people live in a 1 mile bubble there, right? They find all the things they need, their gym, their job, like their grocery store. They try to package it all into this tight little radius. So can we fit into a 3 to 5 mile radius for ideal client? Or we buy a lot of housing tracts, homes, like are we easily in that type of spot? That would be the ideal type of location. The greater the distance that you put for your client to get to this gym, the more sales friction you're going to have. And I would even venture to say more cancellations, because once the rubber meets the road, no pun intended, and they actually are driving to this space in their day-to-day life, they might find that, man, I'm spending way more time in my car than I used to, or more time than I want to. And so I'm just going to cancel my membership because of simply the distance that it is from my house or my job. So That's why this is such a big decision. So what I look for is some must-haves. I want to be in a great spot that is very easily found off of a major road, okay? Preferably near a highway so you can get a lot of that traffic for people that are passing by. I want it to be easily accessible. If I have to go down the road and then do a U-turn and then hook into the shopping center, there's all these steps. Like the best places you tend to find yourself going to, you're just going down the road and you just make a right and you go right up into that spot, right? So like those are the types of spots that we want. Is like, is this shopping center having lots of accessibility, lots of ways to turn in, to get out? How easy is it to find? Is it visible? Will like lots and lots of cars be seeing your signage as they're traveling by every day? These are the things that are like must-haves to me. Now, nice to haves is, if you want to layer on extra benefit, is you're in a shopping center with an anchor store. All right. Anchor stores, those big, well-known brands. It could be a Lowe's, it could be a Target, it could be anything that was like a big brand that people go to all the time. And they tend to have smaller businesses next to them. Well, if that big brand is your ideal customer, again, I might not be excited to be next to a Home Depot because there's a bunch of dudes going there and I tend to train women. So if I'm next to a Target, heck yeah, like I want all the Target moms training at my gym. So that would be a nice to have, but it's not a must have. So some key considerations: if you guys are either opening a gym or you're going to add an additional location or move your gym, which I've seen many gyms doing lately, is number one, let's take into consideration your demographic. I shared you my demos. What is your gender, age range, income levels that you tend to work with and use your ideal customer? Now, where are these people in high concentrations? Okay. I made a big mistake once. This is the first story I share with you. I partnered to open a gym in a high income city and we thought we're just going to knock this out of the park. Well, we found this pretty inexpensive place to rent. And so that should have been red flag number one. But we thought we just found like this little golden corner that no one knows about. And it's a little secret prize, right? And we're going to get it. So then we open, and little do I know, the first few days that we're open, all we see walking past the window is just white-haired old ladies. And they're going to their physical therapy appointment. And there was a deli there. And there was all these businesses that they go to. And I'm like, where's all my middle-aged people, right? So then I got access to this software where it shows you all the demographics and who lives in the area. Well, come to find out, right where I put this gym was smack dab in the middle of a giant retirement community. And so the average age was more like 60 plus. And I quickly realized, made a huge mistake, and that gym did not last long. So all that to say, just because you see high income doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be a home run. Look at the demographics in terms of the age, the gender, all that stuff. Are you in a place where if you work with middle-aged people, there's a lot of families? Be on the lookout for, again, the right people. If you worked with older population, this place would have been a gold mine for you. But again, at that time, that wasn't my model. So that's one key consideration, is your demographic. The second is competition. All right. Now, I'm all for fighting competition and, let the best man or woman win. But if you're going to start your journey there, man, oh man, is it an uphill battle. If you're like the last person to that market and already there's 5 or 6 major brands, and then you're coming in with a Me Too product that's pretty similar to the other brands, that is going to be a very, very difficult fight. Ideally, you are the first to market or second to market, and there's not a lot of competition. And we really like community-based cities, which means people are saying they're proud to be from this city. And there's like a community identity around it, that there's a lot of like, again, community spirit there. I didn't necessarily like cities where people commuted to for work and then they left right after. So those are, to me, the best cities. So if you can find that, man, there's no competition and it's got a community-based identity where people are proud to be from that city, that is, to me, a home run. All right. So when there's lots of competition within a 3 to 5 mile radius, your costs of marketing are going to be higher because everyone's fighting for those same eyeballs. You're going to find that people are going to gym hop, right? Because they got options. And so if you're the only place in town, they got no options. They're going to stay longer with you. Now, I often tell this to people before they go and open a gym. Some do it, some don't. My hack before I would go and put all the money into all these grand opening expenses, I would run test ads in that area where you're thinking of running, because I want to kind of get a general idea of what is a lead going to cost me in this area. So I would just pop up a page of a bogus gym, call it, Dustin's Fitness, Center, Dustin's Boot Camp. And I would just run ads there. And I would just basically, do like a grand opening campaign. Hey, we're coming to town and we're giving away free memberships. Who wants a free membership? We'll let you know when we're going to open doors. The plan could absolutely never happen. I could never open the doors, but there's no, I guess, harm in that. People are opting into something that never ends up happening. Big deal. But what that gives me is extremely valuable data. Those should be my cheapest leads. If I'm running that and my leads are very, very costly, I'm probably saving myself a major headache to not ever open in that area, because I'm getting a little snapshot of what it's like to run a gym and run ads in that area, and my marketing is going to be absurd. So if I don't get a lot of leads for very inexpensive for something free, like a free membership giveaway, I'm probably spotting a major problem in advance. And what did it cost me? $500,000 in ad spend. Well worth the years of pain that I can go through opening a gym in that area. So you might say like, hey, Dustin, again, like, are you a wuss? Are you afraid of competition? No, but like, I guess I'd rather go to a place where I'm almost guaranteed to win, where a place I'm going to be like fighting like hell to win. I just think that that's strategy, and that's a smarter way to go. So here's the common issues people make around this one decision is they go on price and not on the place that's going to help them really capture the most attention and really make their gym successful. So what happened for the longest time, a lot of gyms, including me, I'll own up to it, would pick a warehouse space that would get you really low rent and not go towards retail, because of obviously the rent's going to be higher. But a lot of these warehouse places were in the undesirable part of town. They're off to the corner. There's like beat up auto repair places next to them. So now you got like oil spilled all over the ground, and you're just like in this nasty part of town. And people with money don't want to be caught dead in that part of town. But you went there because you can get cheap rent. This is in the days of like roll-up gates, warehouse gyms. Now, again, I don't want to say that all of them are like that. I have had some in nice parts of town, and I know gym owners who had them in nice parts of town. But a lot of times they were not. And so we then want to be conscious of our rent, but then it bites us in the butt of actual number of clients we can get, right? So that's the first thing, is like, just don't be a cheapskate. If you're going to go into business, go all in and do it right. Second, overlooking parking requirements, all right? You just are so focused on the building, you forget to look at the parking and if the city's even going to zone you for that. So I would be really conscious of that, especially if you're going to be getting volume there, right? And then finally, the big common pitfall, which I talked about earlier, is just ignoring competition, just thinking we're going to beat those guys. We're going to beat those guys. Like, no one's going to be able to like hold a candle to what we do, but they're going to run ads. They're going to be fighting for the same clients that you have. And, I know there's different forms of competition, which are who is a direct competitor. They're in the same model you are, which we'll get to, later on, and who is in fitness, but they're not a direct competitor. They have a different type of model, right? So if you own a small group training center, should you be concerned about the recovery place that sells cold plunges and saunas? No, you're both in the quote unquote fitness space, but you're selling something different, a different type of model, right? So I would really pay attention to direct competition in that area to your model and your style of training. So that's big decision number one. Can't overstate it. Be super, super picky on that. I've just seen owners, again, pick a bad spot. And even one that I had, I'll tell you one more story before I go to the other one. We had one that was positioned against a mountain. So when you put a 5-mile radius around our gym, we were like at the base of this mountain. We would only really get 3/4 of that circle to be hitting residents, because 1/4 of it was eaten up by this mountain behind us, right? There's nobody back there. There's no homes. It's just nature. So that drove our cost per lead way higher, because we had a lower concentration of people in our immediate 5-mile radius. But it was a high income city, and there was a lot of, people interested in fitness. So I had all these starry eyes going into it. And then business does what business does best. It really humbles you. And so you have to realize, like, man, these are big decisions. I should take my time. I should talk to my peers. You guys can DM me, send me a spot if you're interested in leasing it for your gym. I'll give you my feedback. But like, get a lot of people like giving you feedback before you go and sign that lease. All right. So that's number one. Let's go to number two. Hey, gym owners, let's face it. You probably don't love digital marketing. You probably don't want to go into Facebook and load the ad up and think of ad copy and creatives and optimize it daily. well, hand that over to me and my team because we're geeks about marketing and we want to flood your gym with new members so you can change their life. Let us do what we do best. All right, go to gymreinforcements.com, book a call. Don't bring the credit card. It's not a hard pitch. It's just a conversation to see if we're a good fit. Talk soon. And that is the pricing and business model that you choose. All right, I talked about the location being your foundation of your success. This is the oxygen of your success. This is your money. Money for business is oxygen. You don't have enough and you can't breathe, right? This is going to create so many problems. And like I said, it could be either years of pain or years of prosperity based on this decision. So this is where you have to first understand your true costs. Like if you don't know your costs, it's going to be hard for you to then figure out what should I price this thing at. So if you're not open yet, you can do a simple projection sheet. But first, you want to put in two main categories, right? Your fixed costs, like rent will be this every month. My insurance will be this every month. My internet is this every month. It doesn't change. Fixed costs. Variable costs are things that can change based on usage, right? So we got utilities. How about how many people that you need to hire? So staff. What about marketing and texting fees, right? That could go up and down month to month. Generally, we want to budget that. But essentially, this is the two categories you want to have, and you want to project that out. Now, once you see that number of how much this gym will cost to run monthly, you can then say, man, how many clients do I need at price point A? And how many clients do I need at price point B to arrive at that number? Okay, so just to kind of give you some context, like let's say all of your costs all in are $25,000 and you want to run a large group training model at $199. So if I'm charging $199 and I have $25,000 in cost, I need 125 members to break even. Well, let's just take that up $100. Okay, let's say you're going to do a small group training model and it's going to start at $299. It'll probably go higher to $399, but I'm going to put in $299 to be conservative. Now, if I have $25,000 in expenses, and again, I'm putting in $299, just doing a quick calculation, I need 83 clients. So I literally need almost 40 clients left. If I said that, you need 120 clients to pay the $199 rate to break even, yeah, it's about 120, 125 clients, or I need 85 clients. I mean, that's 40 clients difference because of the pricing model that I picked. So I could do less work. I could find less people. I just have to get better at sales, and I have to get better at building my value and helping people to see the value. But man, I can go find just 83 people and I've hit my reoccurring revenue to match my expenses. Happy days. Everything beyond that, now life gets really good. So that is where we want to really take some time and pay attention to what we want to do. Now, first things first is you got to decide, am I going to have an open gym model or am I going to have a coaching gym model? Most of my folks listening to this show are in the coaching gym space. They own coaching gyms that do large group, small group, PT. But essentially, we got to choose your pricing that you're going to do now. Once you decide how you're going to deliver fitness in the coaching style, what are we going to price it at? And so number one, you got to decide on any front end offers if you're going to sell trials or challenges or anything like that. And then you got to choose number two, your membership offer. What is your membership offers going to be and what are those commitments? All right. Are you going to have month to month? Are you going to have 12-month? Will you have an enrollment fee, which is pretty normal in fitness? Will you have a facility upgrade fee? All right. I've been a member at Anytime Fitness, and twice a year, they charged a $40 equipment fee, right? So they got $80 on top of my annual dues to put into equipment. So that's becoming more and more normal, guys, because fitness equipment does take a beating and it needs to be maintenance. So what is your model? What is your pricing? And what path you want to go down? This is another huge decision. And I've seen owners choose one price point that puts them in through years of pain, and they're chasing volume because they priced so low. And then I don't want to say there's no pain in charging more. The pain is like, you have to get better at sales. You have to make sure you're delivering a higher standard of service because you're charging more and people expect more, right? But like, which game do you want to play? Which type of pain do you want to take on? And again, my big message to more and more gym owners is like, all of us need to raise our prices. Everybody is undercharging for the value you bring to someone's life and the value of what you do. I think most fitness experts and professionals are way undercharging. We need to charge more. So the answer for me would always be sell more expensive stuff, get better at sales, get better at delivery, get better at building your reputation around delivering a more expensive product, because that is where there tends to be more prosperity. So can't say it's not possible to build a large volume model. There's plenty of people who are doing it. I just know my skill sets and the gym owners that I work with, majority, we would do better to raise our prices and sell more expensive stuff. So that's your second big decision. Again, this is the oxygen decision. This is giving you money to bring breath and life into your business, is what are you going to charge and what your model is going to be. Huge decisions. And the reason it's so big at the beginning is I find that more and more people have a hard time changing it once they set it. So really choose to set that price wisely. And if you need to change, guys, change fast. We're so slow to change our pricing in fitness, but you see the world around you and everything changes fast. Food changes fast. Gas changes fast. Disney tickets, subscription services, every year, they're just adding 5, 10%. And we will lock in and keep our prices the same for 5, 10, 20 years. And that just blows my mind, because that means the owner is often taking home less. They're choosing to eat less and to take home less because they won't raise the rate. So I'll get off that soapbox. We'll move on to decision 3, the third biggest decision you will make in your gym. Foundation is your location. Oxygen is the pricing and the money. The third is your team. The team members that you allow to come and join your business and walk through your doors, they are the heart of your success. Okay, we said the foundation, we said the oxygen. Well, this is the heartbeat that's happening every single day. Now, what can we do to influence this? Number 1, gym owners, I need you to create your culture around values. Okay, that means coming up with your gym identity. What is the identity of your gym? Every gym is different. I've been in powerlifting gyms where it's normal for everyone to be lifting 500 pounds and be screaming. And I've been in CrossFit gyms where everyone's shirtless while they're doing their kipping pull-ups. And I've been in really expensive studios where, again, the aesthetics of the space feels like I'm in some, fancy hotel. And I've been in big box gyms where the upholstery is all ripped to shreds. All of them told me the owner's set of values, or at least the leadership team's set of values, by the way they carried themselves, the way they acted, the team members they recruited, they are all echoing what you believe in. So who do we want to bring aboard? We don't even know until we identify our gym's identity. What is the identity of the gym? So there's 3 big things you got to decide to create that identity. What is your vision, your mission, and your values? Okay, so let me break that down. Your vision, think about like a pirate ship. I heard this analogy and I loved it. A pirate ship is going somewhere, right? It's exploring the world. The vision is where that ship is going. Where is it even setting sail for? So like your business, where is it going? Do you have a certain number of members that you want to impact this year? A certain amount of pounds you want to help the community lose? What is the big vision that we are chasing right now? And again, this is where we're going. And I like this one to be measurable, numerical, that type of thing. The mission is more inside, all right? It's your motivation, your more emotional based statement. So your mission is, why are we going there? Why are we going to this place, right? This is a big question people have about things. What's the point of this change? Why are we doing this change? Why are we, even putting energy into this? That's where you have to answer with your mission statement. So we are doing this because, and that is your mission, right? And so that is for you to decide and sit down with your team and work on that. Use ChatGPT if you need some input, but it is very powerful. And the final one is the values. And the values with that pirate ship is, where are we going is the vision. Why are we going there is the mission. The values is how will we behave on this pirate ship along the way. So those are your core values, okay? And this is how. That's the how question. We said where, why, and how. How will your team behave? What values will you put on a pedestal and shout out and recognize? Because there's so many you can do. My magic number on this is 3. I think 3 is the magic number for core values. You can have 20 of them, but really most people are going to only be able to remember 3. You can't remember 20 core values at the tip of your tongue. And so you got to pick what are the 3 that are most important to you and your business and your gym's identity. And so to kind of, I guess, finish off that pirate analogy, like if they don't follow these core values, they got to pretty much walk the plank, which is code for getting fired, right? So create that. All right. That's step 1 around this decision. Who comes on your team? Well, we can't say who's a good fit, who's a bad fit. We're using these really vague terms unless we crystallize it and we get clear on those words, right? Vision, mission, values. Next, we need to apply it to your hiring process. So your core values are then the filters that you're looking through. And we're saying, does this person have these core values? And the way you can filter that is by having questions tied to that core values, right? So if you are big into respect, let's say respect is one of your core values, you can say, tell me about a time that someone was disrespectful and it drove you crazy. Or tell me about the people that you like to pay respect to. And so you're really digging into this core value and you want them to share examples so you can decide, do they really live this core value or do they just say it to get the job, right? And for me, the three things that I like to look at when I'm interviewing is I follow the ABCs, which is attitude, behaviors, and character, okay? Attitude, do they show up? Are they positive? They got a good attitude about them. You can fix a lot of things with a good attitude. You can teach people skills and lots of good things if their attitude is the right one. Behaviors, how do they behave when they're under pressure, when they are working alone, when they're working with other people? What is their behaviors? What do they do on the weekends? What do they do with free time? That will tell you a lot of things. And the final thing is character, right? Who is this person always when no one's looking? What is their character like, right? And so again, you probably want to work with high character people. So that simple, filter you can use if you haven't developed your core values, but I can't urge you enough. Like your community or your gym community and identity will be shaped by people. Your choice of the people you allow in are one of the biggest decisions of your business, right? And so then from there, you filtered them in, a couple other layers to that. Now you want to quality assurance them because life changes happen. People move or they have a death in the family, divorce, they have kids, all these things happen. We just got to make sure they stay on track from those honeymoon phases of when they get hired. So you want to build in a quality assurance system where they are like being measured to your standard and the way you want things done. And down the road, when you hire a GM, they will have to, execute this quality assurance system. So first we identify who we want, then we interview, we find them, then we quality assurance them. And then the final part will be, we continue to grow them. Because if people are not growing under your leadership, I can promise you they're becoming stagnant or they're sliding backwards in their skills. And so we want to keep people growth trajectory. So investing in your team, doing team training, sending them out for conferences, doing a book reading together, signing them up for courses, bringing in guest speakers to present to your team. These are all ways to grow and develop your team. But one of the most important is just one-on-one time with you. I bet you have a lot of great knowledge you can pass on to them if they just get some time with you. And a lot of owners don't provide their team that time or availability because they want to spend it more with customers or they want to stay busy with tasks. But I promise you, one of the best things you can do to grow your team is to just be their mentor and be there for them and run your own mastermind, except no one can buy into it. They have to be on your team to get access to it, right? So as we wrap up here, I just want to point out again, these three decisions that I've identified to be three of the biggest decisions you can make in business that set you up for years of pain or gain. And to recap, your location is your foundation, your pricing is your oxygen, and your team is your heart. Take your time on these decisions because they are huge and they will set you up for, again, a period and years of good or lots and lots of pain because of those early decisions that are hard to go back and change. You can be done, but it'd be easier if we just made the right decision earlier on. So hopefully these stories, these lessons, these warnings all sink in so that you guys don't have to go through a lot of things that I did. All right, until next time, keep changing lives. Gym owners, I don't want you to have the reputation in town as the gym that doesn't call people back, all right? We know it's critical when someone's finally made a decision to get healthy and fit that we get to them as quickly as possible. This can be solved by plugging in our remote sales reps, okay? It's not AI, it's not a bot, it's a real human that's working on your leads, the new ones that come in from your ads and the old leads in your database. And they're there to qualify the leads, to ask them discovery questions and to make sure they're a good fit. And then their job is to move them forward in your sales process so that you get more members month over month. All right, if you want to learn about our remote sales reps, go ahead and go to gymreinforcements.com, book a call, and we'll tell you more about it. See you then.